Today we're going to be looking at some bootleg companies' Plants vs. Zombies plushes. And well, unlike most bootleg companies, some of these plushes are actually really good and really accurate to the game. So with that said, welcome to a look at the TizToy Plants vs. Zombies plushes. Now let's start off with the first plush being the Plant Food Peashooter. Now this is based off of MCC's Plant Food Peashooter, and well, it's actually a pretty accurate looking bootleg. As the leaf base basically looks perfectly accurate to how the MCC one looks, and also the stem's also basically perfectly accurate. The head shape of the Peashooter also looks pretty accurate, and the embroidery on the face is overall pretty high quality. There's also a P in the mouth on this plush, and it can actually come out of the mouth, except one problem with this is that sometimes the string's really low quality on these bootleg plushes, so it could easily break. The helmet on this plush could also get unstitched from the head, because the stitching on this plush is overall pretty low quality as well as a bootleg, so it's very cheaply made. So most of the time with these bootleg plushes, they can fall apart rather easily. But yeah, overall for the helmet itself, it's pretty nicely shaped and also has some nice embroidery for the star. And basically every single detail on this plush is accurate and basically looks the exact same as the MCC one. The only really thing that's slightly different from the MCC variant is that the face is slightly darker on this one, as well the face on the MCC one's a slightly lighter green while this one's a slightly darker green. And obviously the MCC one's a lot higher quality and doesn't really fall apart, while the bootleg one is very low quality and is made out of some very cheap materials. So yeah, the original MCC one is pretty rare, so if you do want a Plant Food Peashooter and don't want to have a hard time finding it and spend a lot of money for it, the bootleg one's an okay thing to get. As well, even though the bootleg could get damaged pretty easily, if you take good care of it, it'll overall look pretty good. If you want this bootleg, you can look on eBay, Amazon, basically every single website that uses a stock image for the Plant Food Peashooter. You could basically buy it there and guarantee that you get this plush. And now let's go on to the next plush being Gatling P. Now this is probably the worst plush that TizToy made, as well as probably the worst quality and also the most inaccurate looking. As well, the leaf base on this plush looks alright, except it is slightly too big for the rest of the plushes. Well, the leaf base is just super big for some reason. I honestly don't know why they did that, as well basically on every single one of their other plushes they made it look fine, so yeah, I don't know why they messed it up on this one. But yeah, the stem on this one also looks pretty good, except it could get bent and damaged because since the leaf base is so big, it kind of looks unproportional and could easily get damaged. The head shape on the Gatling P overall looks really weird because the head shape is overall really skinny and also it just looks really weird. The embroidery on the face is overall pretty low quality and could fall apart rather easily. Just like the Plant Food Peashooter, the helmet could easily get unstitched from the head and get damaged. Probably the weirdest part about this plush is that you could actually remove the barrels from the mouth. So yeah, I honestly don't know why TizToy made that a feature, as well, but it's not made on any other officially licensed Gatling P plushes, so yeah, I don't know why they come up with that idea, as well, but it doesn't really make a lot of sense anyway. As well, that's one of the main things that make it look like a Gatling P, so I don't really know why you would want to remove the barrels in the first place. But yeah, overall, this is probably the worst plush that TizToy ever made for Plants vs. Zombies, as well, but it's just really low quality, and the design on it is just really not that good. And I think the reason for that is this was probably TizToy's first ever Plants vs. Zombies plush that they made, so that's why it's a lot lower quality than the rest of them. But yeah, if you for some reason want this plush, I would definitely not recommend getting it though. You could easily find it on eBay and Amazon, it's basically everywhere. And now let's go on to the next plush set being Bloomerang. Now this Bloomerang plush overall looks pretty good, except there is one really weird thing about it. The thing that makes this plush really weird is that for some reason you could actually take off the boomerang part of the Bloomerang. So yeah, I honestly don't know why this is a feature on this plush, and just like the Gatling P, it really has no use to removing it. As well, I honestly don't know why this is a feature, as well, but it's not needed, and it's also not game accurate whatsoever, and it isn't even used on the officially licensed plush. So yeah, once again, I don't know why TizToy made this a feature. As well, it makes zero sense to do, and it makes the plush look pretty weird when it's missing it. But yeah, for the rest of the plush is overall pretty good, as well. The face is nicely embroidered on it, it's overall pretty accurate looking. And the leaves on the bottom of them basically look extremely accurate and will basically look the exact same as the officially licensed version. And for the Bloomerang design itself is basically the exact same as the World Max and MCC version, and it's overall a pretty good plush besides that one weird thing about it. And honestly, if they got rid of that weird feature where you can remove the boomerangs on it, it would overall be a pretty good bootleg. But yeah, overall, it's a pretty strange bootleg, and I would definitely recommend getting the MCC or the World Max version over this one. But yeah, if you want this plush, you can look on eBay, Amazon, and basically any website you use as stock images for the Bloomerang plush. And now let's go on to the coconut cannon. Now this bootleg coconut cannon plush overall doesn't really look that bad. And well, unlike the last two plushes that we looked at, it actually has no really weird features about it. But yeah, for the plush itself, it's basically completely game accurate and overall looks very similar to the officially licensed variant. As well, the fuse on the coconut cannon is overall pretty good, and well, the spark on the top of it is made out of a felt material, so that could get bent and damaged on it. But yeah, for the coconut cannon shape, it overall looks pretty accurate, and the coconuts on the side have some embroidery on them to make them look slightly more accurate. They also have some leaves stitched onto the top of them, which could actually fall off as well, but unlike the official version, this one's actually very cheaply made and not stitched on that well. So just like the plant food Peashooter, a lot of details on this plush could get easily damaged because well, it's overall just very cheaply made. But yeah, the eyes and the eyebrows on the coconut cannon are overall really nicely embroidered on, and they overall look really good. And well, for the front of the coconut cannon, it has some nice lighter brown embroidery around it to make it look slightly more accurate and to also give it some slightly better detail. And well, just like the MCC variant, the coconut cannon could actually shoot out a coconut, which is usually attached to the string, but on the bootleg version it's actually not, so yeah, you could just kind of take the coconut out of the mouth, which makes it very easy to lose. As well, most of the time the coconut just kind of rolls out of the mouth as well, but it's not really made that well to fit in, so yeah, it overall looks pretty weird sometimes. But yeah, overall, just like the plant food Peashooter, this one's extremely accurate, and well, if you can't find the MCC variant of the coconut cannon, this one will actually be a pretty good replacement for it. And well, if you want this plush, you can look on eBay or Amazon, and you can find it pretty easily. And now let's go on to the zombies, starting off with the pirate zombie. And well, this bootleg pirate zombie is based off of the World Max and MCC pirate zombie, and well, for the most part, it overall looks pretty good. The only really part that makes it noticeable for being a bootleg is the face. And well, the main reason for that is that the eyes are actually made out of a plush material instead of a plastic material. And well, most of the time the eyes are actually facing a separate direction, making the plush look kinda weird looking. And well, the teeth on this plush could also look pretty weird sometimes, as sometimes they're sticking straight up and not put on correctly. And well, by far the most noticeable part about this bootleg is that the head on it could actually be ripped off. And well, the reason for that is that similar to the Sega Prize zombies, it actually has some Velcro on it, which makes it so it's easily rippable. So yeah, once again, just like other TizToy plushes, it's a very weird feature that differentiates it from the actual officially licensed plush. And well, unlike the Bloomerang and the Gatling P, which don't really make much sense, this one's actually pretty unique, as well, it kinda makes sense. As well, in the games, when zombies die, their heads obviously pop off, so yeah, that's one really cool feature about this TizToy plush. But yeah, for the rest of the plush is basically an exact copy of the MCC variant, as well all the clothes are basically the exact same, and they overall look extremely accurate. And I do have to say, compared to the rest of the plushes that TizToy made, this one's actually pretty high quality. So yeah, that's one really cool thing that's used about this plush, and it overall looks really nice. And overall, this plush is pretty good, so if you can't find the MCC or World Max variant of the Pirate Zombie, you could actually get this one, but I probably wouldn't recommend it, as well the MCC and World Max ones are still really high quality compared to this one. But yeah, if you still want the TizToy variant, you could easily find it on eBay and Amazon. And now let's go on to the next plush, being the Gargantuar. Now, unlike the last few plushes that we looked at that mostly just copy a pattern from officially licensed plushes, this one actually doesn't. As well, it uses the same base as the Lynx and Gargantuar, except it has some completely different clothes on it and also is slightly more unique. As well, this one actually has game accurate clothes on it and it overall looks really good. The pants on it are also game accurate, and it actually is holding a telephone pole, which is actually extremely accurate and overall looks really nice. And this plush actually has a lot of details on it, which makes it stand out from the actual Lynx and Gargantuar, and actually makes it more of a unique plush than a copy. But yeah, besides all the details on the plush itself, all the other details are basically copied from Lynx's variant, such as the embroidery on the face. And just like the Pirate Zombie, the head on this plush could actually come off using magnets. But yeah, just like the Lynxin variant, the imp could come out of the back of the Gargantuar, but overall basically looks the exact same as the normal imp used on the Lynxin variant. But yeah, overall, I do like that they made it more unique by adding other stuff on it than just making a copy of the Lynxin variant. And if you actually do like the design of this Gargantuar, you could actually find it on eBay and Amazon pretty easily. And now let's go on to the first unique plush that TizToy made, being Captain Deadbeard. Now this is actually based off of Jazzwares plushes, well, but it actually wasn't ever officially released. So yeah, basically TizToy saw Jazzwares' unreleased plush and well, actually made it fully complete. As well, they copied the exact same design for the hat on this plush and well, also copied the face design, but they made all the clothes unique themselves and overall made it look pretty nice. And well, this is the only Captain Deadbeard plush that we actually have, so I would actually definitely recommend getting this one. As well, it's overall pretty high quality and uses mostly high quality details on it. As well, for the face, the eyes are made out of plastic and well, all the details on the face like the mustache and the beard are very nicely made. As well, you could obviously tell that they actually put a bit of work into it, as well they made it so it all looks nicely detailed and well, you can actually see all the individual bumps on the beard to make it look accurate. And with all the clothes on this plush are overall very high quality and has some really nice small details on them. And well, they very clearly put a lot of work into making this plush and well, they overall did a great job with it. And well, the only really weird thing about this plush is that the hook that is on his hand is actually just kind of a normal arm. As well, under his sleeve, he actually does have a normal hand, and well, for some reason, they just stitched a hook onto his hand. So yeah, I don't know really why they did that, but yeah, it's overall a pretty weird decision. But yeah, besides that, the rest of the plush overall looks really good, and well, is overall pretty high quality. And well, out of any plush in the set, I would actually definitely recommend getting this one, as well, there's no other Captain Deadbeard plushes made by any other company, so yeah, if you want a Captain Deadbeard plush, you literally only have one option. But yeah, you can find this plush on eBay pretty easily. And now let's go on to the next plush set being Super Brains. Now this is another copy of a Jazzwares plush and well, unlike the last one, this one's not unique whatsoever. As well, this one's basically just a really cheaply made and really knockoff version of the actual Jazzwares Super Brains plush. As well, for some reason, they made it a lot bigger than the Jazzwares plush, so they had to use a lot more materials onto this plush, which made it so they make it even cheaper. So yeah, since they made this plush so big, they made a lot of the details on it overall look pretty inaccurate, and they also made them overall really low quality. And while starting off with the face doesn't really look to be the correct shape at all, and well, is overall pretty strange looking sometimes. As well, the quality control on the Super Brains plush is for some reason just really bad compared to the rest of the set, so yeah, for some reason the face could look different on basically every single one of these plushes. And well, the eyes are plastic on this plush, so they could get chipped and damaged pretty easily. And well, for the body on this plush, unlike the Jazzwares plush, this one's made overall of a very low quality material that could easily get scratched and damaged. It seems like a lot of the times on this plush, when you see it actually comes loose on the stitching on this plush, so yeah, it could easily lose stuffing because well, it just kind of gets holes in it over the years, as well, it's overall very low quality. So yeah, I would definitely recommend getting the Jazzwares Super Brains plush, as well, it's not really that hard to get the actual Jazzwares Super Brains plush, as well, it's a pretty common plush, and most of the time it's on eBay or Mercari. You could find this bootleg TizToy one basically on eBay and Amazon at all times. And now moving on to the newest TizToy plush, we have the Football Zombie. Now just like the Captain Deadbeard plush, this one actually uses a unique design. And well, this design of the plush overall looks really accurate to how it looks in the game, except for the part that has green skin. And look, I honestly don't know why they made it have green skin, but yeah, overall, besides that, the rest of the details on this plush are basically exactly game accurate. But yeah, overall, the embroidery on the face and the helmet overall look pretty good. And well, the body on this plush is basically all correctly shaped and overall looks pretty game accurate with all the clothes, and it has some really nice details on it. And well, just like the Captain Deadbeard, there really isn't any inaccurate details on it, well, but overall looks really good. But yeah, if you want this plush, you can look on eBay or Amazon and find it pretty easily. But yeah, which of these plushes are your favorite? Comment that down below, and yeah, have a great day.